We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom, Klein. Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. Check them out, tandemhr.com. Joined by Andrew Dennison, the Chief Operating Officer at Lyft. And I don't know about you, but I've been fascinated by drone technology. And Andrew, you know a thing or two about the subject, don't you?
Yeah, we've been flying them for a long time here, so familiar.
Okay, so tell us, are drones just something that Amazon and Mr. Jeff Bezos is dealing with, or is this something that's coming to the market to folks like other small business owners that might be listening to Get Down to Business today?
Much more than just Amazon, absolutely. The first and most popular use right now, real estate agents have a whole new way to display their properties for potential buyers, and it's become very popular. What's just starting to come out is a lot of industrial inspections on high and hard to reach places, high on the construction sites, towers, wind turbines, transmission lines, right? Where sending people to climb up the towers harnessed in, it's just so much less safe. Let's fly a camera up there and check out what we need to check out, right?
So let's talk about safety. This is all over in the news right now. The Federal Aviation Administration is talking about safety of drones, and are drones safe?
Drones are very safe. Yes, they recently have come out with what they call return to home feature. So if anything goes wrong, it just calmly flies right back to where it was launched. It's understanding where people are coming from, but fortunately there has not been any accidents in flights that we've had over 2 years being in business. So,
Andrew, are you worried about the conversations that are taking place? I've read in the Tribune many times over the past few weeks about municipalities that are passing ordinances. There's rumors that the state and federal government will be passing some legislation restricting drones, limiting drone use. Are you worried about the conversation taking place about regulation of drones?
A little bit. For the most part, municipalities and the cities seem to have been pretty intelligent and kind of let the FAA handle it. If it became a point where every city had their own specific regulations, it would be very hard to run a successful large-scale drone services business, right? But fortunately, for the most part, people have laid back and let the FAA make the rulings.
That makes sense. So tell us a little bit about Lyft Technologies and what you guys do in the aviation and aerospace industries.
Yeah, certainly. We are what we call ourselves a drone liner. And what that means is there's lots of drone manufacturers out there that build the drones, just like Boeing and Airbus build planes. We are similar to Southwest or American Airlines in that we fly the drones. Right, we're a drone liner. And what that means is we meet with companies and help them develop specific flight plans around their applications, help them pick the right platforms and processing to get the data the way they like it. And we connect them with operators and manage the FAA compliance and flight tracking for all the flights. So just like Southwest Flight 1492 from Chicago to LA, there's Lyft Technologies Flight 1492 that's GPS location X to GPS location Y when you land and take off. So
I hate to geek out for a moment, but This is so cool. This is so cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it is cool. I know.
Andrew, how did you get into this space? Tell us a little bit about your background, and this is quite the entrepreneurial initiative. Would love to hear the story behind Lyft and how you got involved.
Absolutely. So in college, I had a little painting business that I ran on the side, so I was familiar with the operations of a service business. Shortly after, I joined a different drone startup that was actually building a drone force field so it couldn't crash into anything else in the air. Pretty neat. And after a while, it kind of grew out of that and started my own drone services business called Maven Air. Maven Air last summer was bought by Clayco Construction, and they changed the name and they turned it into Lyft Technologies. And Clayco is a billion-dollar design-build firm, and so we started flying drones on all their construction sites across the country, and that's kind of how we got started.
So, Andrew, tell us your vision of what the world will look like in 5 years, maybe 25 years, and the business world specifically, and how drones might apply in the workplace. You mentioned real estate and getting into hard to reach places, whether it's for photography or inspections. But tell us for some other industries how drones can be impactful and frankly beneficial in the business world.
Agriculture. Drones can fly over your field and tell you where your plants are healthy and where they're not. We already talked about keeping inspectors safely planted on the ground, right? Construction sites, we can actually track job progress by inputting a 3D model from the drone against a virtual model that was designed by the architects and looking at where we're ahead and where we're behind. You mentioned delivery. I think in 5 years, Amazon won't be delivering packages. The FAA is not ready to move that quickly. We've actually heard that from FAA meetings we've had. In 25 years, I believe there's going to be drones flying above the power lines all over the country, and there'll be little toll meters on the power lines, and the power companies are going to charge drone companies tolls to fly along their power lines to make deliveries.
Fascinating.
And that's a rumor we've been hearing, at least, in the power companies.
That's fascinating. Interesting. Are there any privacy concerns that either regulators or just folks out there in the business community are expressing about as drones are expanded for usage?
There are privacy concerns. I would say that right now it's probably the biggest hurdle that us drone companies face is the privacy concerns of the American public, and that's really what's holding up a lot of the regulation in Congress right now. We always say there's already Google Street View, there's already satellites, and we're trying to make everyone else's life safer by using these drones, but people don't always see that, right?
Interesting. So once again, we're chatting with Andrew Dennison, the Chief Operating Officer at Lift Technologies. Fascinating discussion, education, frankly, about drones and how the world will look in 5 years, 25 years with drone technology. Andrew's predicting that there will be little toll meters on power lines as drones are expanded in usage in so many different sectors. But Andrew, for our listeners that that maybe aren't as knowledgeable about drones, what does a drone cost? I'm assuming that it ranges in price.
It certainly does. The most popular drone that everyone talks about is DJI Phantom, and it has a better than GoPro camera on it, very accurate flying, and that will cost $1,400, including the camera. And that, if you want to really get a good, solid intro drone, that's your number one. Then you can get drones that are $120,000 that have infrared and really accurate capabilities. I mean, and then you can go all the way up to a Global Hawk, which is millions of dollars, and those are the ones that the military flies all over the world, right? So it really depends on what application you're looking for, but that Phantom is really the most popular one out there today.
Andrew, you're joining us on the air by phone, and I, for some reason in my mind, the picture that I have of you in my head is that you're sitting in the office at Lift Technologies, and while you have a headset on, talking to me about drones, you're flying a whole bunch of drones all over the room. Is that what's going on?
Well, the drones aren't flying, but there's an array of drones right behind me here, actually. We have our fleet, so it's pretty cool.
That is so cool. I can't wait to visit you guys at Lift Technologies. Fascinating education about drone technology. And again, as Andrew Dennison, Chief Operating Officer at Lift Technologies, just explained, this isn't something that's just for the military or for Jeff Bezos at Amazon.com, but this is something that likely small business owners, whether you're in real estate or in a number of other industries, including agriculture, will be seeing across the country over the coming years. So we'll definitely be checking in with you, Andrew, to learn more. But in the meantime, we're running out of time. How can people learn more about Lift and get more educated about the drone sector?
We're happy to answer any questions that people have about drones. That's my job. I do it every day. Check us out at lift-tech.com. That's Lift Technologies, lift-tech.com.
Lift-tech.com. And as you mentioned before, you're helping big companies make better decisions by providing aerial data. And in the same way, as you said, Boeing and Airbus makes airplanes. Well, you guys are actually flying like the Southwest of the world. You're actually flying these drones. So again, fascinating discussion. Yep. We'll follow your progress. Andrew Dennison, thanks for joining us on Get Down to Business.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Get Down to Business is brought to you in part by Everett Wealth Solutions, a registered investment advisor and financial planning firm, a fiduciary advisor that helps you create your personal financial wealth. You can find them at everettwealthsolutions.com or call 708-771-7777, 708-771-7777. We're brought to you in part by Tandem HR, or powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. Check them out, tandemhr.com. After the break, I've got a lot more tips, advice, and information for you. You don't want to miss it. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Get Down to Business.